listening to Rad Rolls, a Fallout tabletop podcast. Let's go! We're not playing games! We're not playing games!
Hello and welcome to Rad Rolls. I am the game master / dungeon master / master of ceremonies of the podcast. My name is Dave Chaffins, and I have been running a Fallout 2D20 game for about 2 years, and we are about to start a new campaign. Fallout 2D20 is a tabletop role-playing game using Modifius's patented signature, fresh out the oven 2D20 roll system, where we do different rolls based off of 2 skill sets and have an outcome based on a difficulty. It's a really fun system. We're telling an original story set in our version of the Fallout universe. This is nowhere that the games have been. We kind of did our own world-building game before this. My style of GMing is I like dark comedy. I like gruesome, absolutely terrible horror, and I love to see people fail in very comical ways. I love to watch people fall down. I'm pretty much the Daniel Tosh of GMs. That's probably a reference that's not going to hit a lot of the Zoomers out there, but definitely some of us millennials and Xers, you know what I mean? Anyways, enough about me. Let's go around, let's introduce our cast, and let's introduce what characters they are playing. And I'm going to start at the top of the listed order based on the first letter of your name, and we will start with Cody Dickinson. How are you? What character are you playing?
Hi, I am good. So I have elected to play a kind of new character. The character has been featured in, I guess we're going to call it Season 1 of the Rad Rolls Fallout universe. It was a kind of a minor character. His name was Frankie. He was part of Guy's Knot. He was the NPC at that time that helped us get the jetpacks before we went to the giant crawdad. If you haven't listened to Season 1, none of it really matters, other than this is a younger fellow. He was part of a group that was kind of very nature-focused. Frankie specifically, he's a pretty good-natured, and he left the area to hunt bigger and badder game, so he's very much a hunter. I kind of made him a little bit of a different type of character, where he'll be kind of like a sniper, but also very tanky. So a little bit different in that way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this new character.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Next in our order, Dr. J, as they call him. Mr. Jared is here, and he's going to tell us about what character he is playing.
Yeah, so I am, my character, his name is Abel Eveson. He is a recovering child of Adam. He has recently extricated himself from his particular sect of the Children of Adam and is trying to do his best to not get caught or not get discovered out there. So usually I'm looking at my notes I have for him. His typical clothing is what I call Sunday school casual. He looks a bit sickly because he's been raised in radiation. He's probably about 18 years old, but looks closer to about 30 just because of the ravages of radiation and everything on him. But I think Abel will be pretty fun to play, and I'm looking forward to inflicting him upon the rest of the party.
Sounds great and delicious and decadent. Moving on with our cast, next up is May. May, how are you? And let me know what character you're playing this time around.
So I'm the one doing the returning character of Hazel Greenglass, who is a traveling scholar who was raised in a Chautauqua traveling basically a cross between a circus and a school. From the West Coast, she used to live in the NCR controlled territories. She went through a lot of stuff in New Orleans. And for anybody who is rejoining after the first season, she now has a tail that she keeps hidden because she's a mutant now. And she's been working on herself a little bit, and she's coming back hopefully to kick as much ass as possible.
Very nice. It's a tale as old as time. Wink, wink.
That was so bad.
All right.
I appreciated it.
Michael Tanner, or as I call him, Mike, how are you doing? And tell me what character you're playing.
I'm doing great, and I am playing a new character, a fella named Punchy Bohoon, who is a pre-war Topeka, Kansas thug. Is he a ghoul? No. He is a robo-brain. He is a several hundred-year-old brain in a robot body who just recently regained his sentience and personality. He's now traveling the wastes of his old stomping grounds of Kansas.
Very, very nice. I'm excited to get all of these folks together. Just as a note to listeners, if this is the first time you're listening, note that we do some homebrew rules differently. So, like, for example, off the top of my head, if you roll a 1, which is a critical success kind of in the 2d20 system, we actually give people luck points that roll that 1. That's a great regenerative thing that we do and keep with that. We talked about Hazel's mutation with her tail. Mutations are something that we're adding new this season. I have a kind of a list of different mutations that people could get. Hazel's the only one that's actually going to start with one, which is her tail. So there's a few things that we do differently, but mainly we're trying to play most of it close to home when it comes to the official Fallout the role-playing game or Fallout 2d20 by Modifius. So with that, we will get into our setting of scenes and figure out how our characters are coming together. When atomic fire consumed the Earth, it did not consume everything at first. Outside of the impact and fallout zones, communities began to rebalance their resources in favor of a world cut off from itself. In the state of Kansas, the center point of America lies, and surrounding it is a town to be built. A town funded by the American government to be the beacon of the past, the present, and the destiny of its future. This town was never completed, but the original citizens managed to band together to bring a new sense of hope to themselves and the travelers that found rest within. The future looked bright until the storm came. Up on its back sat twisters, hurricanes, blizzards, and radioactive rain. Within a year of the bombs, the residents of this nowhere town found shelter underground. Over the years, the storms never passed, and travel between the communities and tribes of the town became one of the most dangerous elements of life. There was no escape from this town, and those that tried were pulled back to their settlements via the mysterious and highly powerful group known as the Judges. The Judges believe in the storm and the penance that it brings, but just as the storm destroys, it also gives. Its chaotic nature brings a constant shift to the landscape and people. While the Judges continue their resolute war against the soul of our community, there is an unpredictability in the air. You see, the thing about weather is that it's fickle, and the storm always changes. So, our crew lies before us. You all have been together for a month. And I want to know kind of what you all have done together. You all have found each other out in the wasteland. You know how these groups go. They get together. They try to survive. You all haven't been into this area that we're calling the Stormlands yet. So you've been kind of around in the Midwest, kind of adventuring, going out together. So I kind of want to know some of your exploits, some of the things that you've done. So I'm going to start again in the same order that I did with I was this Frankie. Frankie, tell me about one of the exploits of our gang over the previous month.
Yeah, okay. So I think we'd have to start off with Frankie and Hazel would have been in the same area. So they would have had to travel north. Let's say that they did end up traveling on the train that we got going sort of at the end of last season. And let's say that on that train ride, um, Hazel was trying to modify the train in a way that she thought would make it better. Turns out that she was a little too overconfident, and long story short, we ended up having to walk the rest of the way to Kansas after a sudden train derailment.
Yeah, that tracks. But
All right, so the train derailment. Abel, what kind of things has the group done in the past month?
I'm trying to break some of the habits that I've picked up from my sheltered life. I've found that it's I've continued to do some like volunteer work and have tried to drag people into it as much as possible. I think Hazel has probably been the easiest to sort of conscript into doing volunteer work. Punchy and Frankie, I'm not so sure if they've got ulterior motives. Frankie, depending on the work, Frankie would probably be like, yeah, I'll tag along. Punchy, I'm not so sure, may look at it as an opportunity to grift people, and I just like never noticed it. Who knows? But I think I've probably spent time trying to ingratiate myself to the folks here by just doing some volunteer work and maybe some minor miracles.
I like it. So, May or Hazel, what's one thing that the group has done together in the past month?
So Hazel's particular drive right now is, as it ever was, is gathering new information and sharing information, teaching people, learning things. She seems to have sort of settled into the idea of gathering as much information as she can about vaults, vault tech, what happened in vaults, what people know about vaults. And in doing so, she has a tendency to go up to people and randomly ask them if they know anything about a vault in the area. Do you know anybody from a vault? And of course, usually the answer is no, but there's this horrible thing happening. Can you help us? I think at one point, the group was asked to help track down and get rid of a horrible monster that was hunting people and killing people in this village. And they're like, well, something weird's going on here. And it turns out that this creature that was knocking down trees and blocking ways and knocking down trees onto people's houses was like a 12-year-old kid with a chainsaw. And at that point in time, there was a difference of an opinion in the group on how to handle this 12-year-old delinquent who stood a very real chance of injuring and killing more people.
Spare the hands, spoil the child. So I was always taught.
Oh my. All right. Punchy, what's one thing that the group has done in the past month together?
Well, just like last week, we were like traveling through this settlement, and we found out these slavers had kidnapped all the kids. It was like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 kids, and they like kidnapped them, and they were keeping them in like this cave, right? And we were like, well, we gotta save these kids, man, because they're kids. And so like we went in there, and like the slavers are all like, you can't have these kids, we're gonna sell them into slavery. And we're like, we don't like that, you guys are bad. And so then we just like, I don't know, someone just started shooting. They were just like shooting everywhere. It was like real rough, but I'm all like, what? And then we rescued the kids basically. Only like 2 died. Wasn't our fault. Was not our fault. It was sad. It was kind of sad when you think about it, because like 2 kids out of like 10, that's it's literally like a fifth of the future generation of that settlement. I don't know if they can survive, but we left. Like it was good though. We did it. We did a good thing. We did a good thing. It was good. It was good. We did it.
I like it. Punchy, those very nice. That all sounds good. It all sounds like you all are doing some good. You're doing out there. You're definitely doing. One of the next things that you all are planning to do is to travel through Kansas. And pretty much you just have a memory that you were on your way through Kansas. But like one of my favorite games, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, be prepared to not remember how you got here or why, as we now set the scene. You find yourself sitting on a wooden bench, but your vision is black due to the bag that's encompassing your head or brain. Your hands are bound by a plastic-like substance that slightly cuts into your skin. A strong gust of wind blows your clothes as lightning seems to strike near. Suddenly, you hear a klaxon ringing louder. As you hear and feel the wind of the cart you are in hit the metal, a screeching is heard behind you like a scraping metal. An engine cuts to a halt in front of you, and your arm is grabbed by a strong hand and you are pulled to your feet. Suddenly, a metal necklace snaps around your neck as you feel the cool steel slightly restricting your neck movement. A beeping emanates from the necklace. The arms drag you down to the metal floor that creaks beneath you. They take you down a set of stairs, then hoist you up to a platform. Your feet, or treads, are bound together. A rope is then strung around your neck, and your hood is removed. A bright light shines so brightly above you that it stings your eyes, but you see that a rope dangles from the ceiling, connecting to the rope on your neck. It's not attached to the metal necklace, but a small light is blinking red on the metal clasped around your neck now. You are sitting on a wooden stage, atop a red X on the floor, each one of you, and before you is a large pulpit with banners that are draped over its side. The banners are blue with a large white star and a red 2-sided hammer below. On the highest seat sits a figure in full body armor and a large duster cloak. Ropes are attached to his hands, wrist, and body that seem to hold the metal and cloth together even tighter. He holds a revolver by the barrel and bangs it twice on the desk. His eyes illuminate a red through the helmet, and he speaks. The court is now in session. How is everyone doing today?
Well, not going to lie, could be better.
Well, that's very nice. I assume that you all have already undertaken your special, what do you call it? The special ceremony where your guilt is already proven. What do we call that? Oh, yes, your court case has already been settled. It's already been done, and you all are indeed guilty, and you're here for sentencing today, as I assume you are.
Beep boop. I am a robot.
No, I don't believe you, sir. I see that you have a brain in there, so I know that you're smart, unless it's a squirrel brain in there.
Chirp, chirp, give me some nuts. I am a robot.
That sounds like a bird, sir, and I know that you're trying to think of what a squirrel says, but here's the thing. Nobody quite knows exactly what a squirrel says, but somebody
That's
could
true.
mimic it,
Nobody
I bet
knows
you one day.
Well, actually, I've done some research. Squirrels, they sounded quite a bit like raccoons with a French accent.
That seems like a total lie to me, but, you know, I'm just a true American man out here patrolling the wasteland in my giant body armor. So, you all, I'm very... Oh, did you have something
lies,
to say?
Yeah, speaking of lies, I don't think we actually had a trial.
Yeah, I don't recall that either.
Oh, well,
What are we
I'm
guilty
sorry.
of?
I'm sorry that your memory has eluded you. You're guilty of not being a true American, unfortunately. It's a real shame in the state of the world that it is, but, we go through each of these trials, we bring these people in, and they are just deemed un-American. And so, by nature, you're here for your sentencing. There's several different levels to it. None of them are great, being 100% honest with you, but I'm fairly certain that I'll come to some conclusion throughout the time if I hear more about how American you all are.
Okay. I'm a brain in a robot, but that brain is from before the bombs, so I am the truest American. No offense, guys. But I'm an American. I actually lived in America when America was a thing. I'm born American. Probably this robot was made in America, so like doubly blessed, let's say. Really, I'm the most American thing in here, I think.
Are you sure that this is made in America on your armor? Are you 100% sure?
Yeah, it's like a Robco project.
Oh, tell me more about this Robco, sir.
Oh, it's like all right. So like before the bombs, not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Things weren't great. Okay. Like there was a lot of mistrust, a lot of like urban uprisings. Like it was rough. We were in the middle of like a global war with the Chinese. It was a whole thing. But like Robco, that's a good American company. They were making like all them robots that were around. Like if you do like a Robo Brain.
If you could do an intelligence plus charisma check for difficulty 1 for me, see if you can convince him that this is what Robco was.
And this is the first time this season we get to tell you can't do an intelligence plus charisma check.
Fuck, you're right.
Oh my gosh, every
An
time.
intelligence plus speech tech for difficulty 1. Some things, war never changes, the storm is always changing, but Dave doing a failed charisma roll.
Double ability checks never change either.
No.
True.
That is attack skill, so it's actually 2 successes.
Nice, very nice.
You'd have to get a 2 or better.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to get a 2. Your speech is 2 right now. Yeah. Welcome back to level 3. You're not level 20 or whatever that you were before. Anyways, the man kind of looks at you and says, "Well, that really checks out for me. I feel more comfortable about the robot, but the rest of these humans here seem like absolute trash to me, based on the fact that you all are here and have been found guilty of the crime. So what do you have to say for yourselves?"
Can I ask you a question before I answer a question for you?
You may approach the bench. Yes.
So she's going to fluff her sort of raccoonish tail up from underneath her long coat so that just the tip of it is showing, and she's going to walk over and lean over and go, "So, sir, as an American, you are aware of who the legendary presidents of the United States were?"
Do a strength plus athletics check for me for difficulty 3.
God, why?
God.
Okay.
Starting early.
Strength plus athletics. Okay. 2 successes.
2 successes. On that, I'll give you a mixed success.
She only rolled 1 die.
I only rolled 1 die and I got 2 successes. Oh, damn.
You gotta roll another now.
Probably roll the other one. So that's
another
3 successes.
God, you know
Wow.
what? Don't get comfortable. This is not going to last.
And take a luck point because you did a critical success for that. You rolled a 1 and then a 2. You realize that your neck is actually affixed to a rope. That you are legitimately hanging, and you go to step off the platform, but you think better. You kind of feel the friction of it. You kind of like you step off, but you not quite, and then you manage to bounce yourself back. And now you may talk to the man sitting on the banner.
Okay. So she's going to sort of like cool teacher mode. She's going to go, "So, sir, are you aware of the legendary president known as Teddy Theodore Roosevelt? Would you consider him a true American?"
I am very familiar with Theodore Roosevelt. He was one of the most famous presidents of the United States. Did you know that he raised 7 bulls? 7 bulls by himself. He brought them from his barnyard in the back, and he fed them milk each morning out of the White House, and then he paraded them about and rode at least 5 of them, with the other 2 not being strong enough to hold him on his back.
Did you know he also raised a daughter who even he couldn't control?
That's very interesting. Tell me more.
Her name was Alice, and she'd walk around with a handbag with a tiny snake inside. And he said, I can either run the country or manage Alice, but not both.
I appreciate your fun fact as a guilty member of this jury. I will take that into some consideration, I suppose, that a lady walked around a house with a snake in her bag. I will write that down posthumously.
Excellent. So as you know that President Theodore Roosevelt was in fact a true American, my name is Hazel Greenglass, and I was raised in an institution, a moving, traveling institution of higher learning known as a Chautauqua. President Theodore Roosevelt said once that the education movement known as the Chautauqua is the most American thing in America. Would you argue with Theodore Roosevelt?
Do a charisma plus speech roll for a difficulty. I'm going to say 0 because you're doing some American history here.
Hell yeah, and it's true stuff. Fam, I am not bullshitting you. That was 1 success.
Yeah, 1 success. Yeah, with that you meet it. You gain an AP point for the group.
Yay!
And the judge looks at you and says, well, I mean, I suppose that makes sense. I'll take that into consideration along with the brain and the big aluminum can over there. And I think that I have a good idea of what punishment I could enforce for you all. But I really haven't heard from our other 2 guilty parties in this matter to figure out what you all are up to.
Well, as a true American, can I vouch for them a bit?
No, you see, you're guilty of being an un-American person, but I believe that there is a chance for redemption. This is all about rehabilitation, and your knowledge of the events that unfolded and your personal liberties as to what you take for them makes a lot of sense to me. So your rehabilitation, I believe that I could facilitate for that, but your friends, it's not your job to rehabilitate them. We have work to do. We have work to craft you into a fine, upstanding American citizen.
I'm not talking about rehabilitating them. I just wanted to give you a frame of reference. As somebody,
They're good people. They're good people.
So one of them, this gentleman, and she's going to gesture over to Frankie. Frankie has traveled with me for quite some time, and I have never seen anything about him that told me that he was not a true American. And this other gentleman over here,
Abel.
I haven't traveled with him as long, but I will say from what I've seen, he is incapable of telling a lie.
Great. You will assist them on any speech rolls that they roll for the rest of the scene as you're vouching.
Yes. Okay. And that's all I have to add.
I appreciate your candor in this matter. I will take that into consideration. The rest of you, tell me why I really shouldn't kill you right now.
Well, Your Honor, I've been listening, and I understand that maybe there's been a misunderstanding about how American we are. Now, America was, it was kind of destroyed when I was growing up already because the bombs had already fallen and stuff. But I know like a few things about America, what America was, and what kind of stuff they liked. I think. I know that a lot of Americans really liked guns, and I love guns. I take care of my guns. I really like my firearms. I know like Americans they had like hunting as their pastime. I'm a hunter. This group that I was raised by, they taught us how to like live off the land and things like that. That's really American, being connected to the land. What else? Hazel taught me one time that Americans really didn't like it was something, I don't remember even what the word was. The thing that Americans don't like that starts with the C. I know
Communism.
it started with this
Communism.
I see. I didn't even know the word. I didn't even know the word, what it was. I didn't know what it even meant. So I definitely don't like that. Your Honor, I think those are good reasons to consider, not killing me on the spot.
Yeah, charisma plus small guns for a difficulty 2 for me. And Hazel, you may assist in this roll. Charisma plus small guns. Just roll 1 die.
Okay. Charisma plus small guns. That's brilliant.
Do not have good charisma of this character.
Yeah, I didn't nail this one either.
All right. The man, the judge looks at you and says, "Very well. I will take this into I will hold this in consideration when I deem your punishment, for what it's worth." So, the last member of our crew here, what exactly do you have to tell me so that I don't kill you on the spot?
Yeah. What's the punishment? Like, are you just gonna lashes, stockade? Like,
Oh, I probably haven't introduced myself. My name is the Hangman.
Okay.
So if you discern by the words of the hanging,
so what's the punishment then?
you're going to be hanged, my friend.
By like
I'm
my
going to
ankles, my wrists, like.
No, currently there's a rope around your neck that's attached to the ceiling, and pretty much.
I've noticed that. But what's the punishment?
By your neck. You're going to die, my friend.
That seems pretty steep. I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, can we decrease that maybe to like just a severe beating?
My friend, you've been found guilty of being un-American, and
right,
you know where you are right
that.
now.
So really, we're just sort of discussing what the punishment is. Can we downgrade the punishment from death?
You'll need to discuss with me on whether you're American enough to avoid the death.
Okay, so I need to discuss. Okay, American. What's American? Well, I was born here.
Where is here?
America, the United Americas.
Where in America?
North America.
Are you talking about Canada? We annexed them.
No, not Canada. Northern America. Yeah, it was Northern America was where I was born and raised by my nuclear family. My nuclear family is who raised me.
Yeah, I think Abel, you were telling me how you were born in like St. Paul, Minnesota, right? It's northern St. Paul.
Yeah,
that's if you don't know, Mr.
and
Hangman, that is
very religious family. And if there's something I know about America, is that it really likes religion, like way more than they should. Like, it's caused a lot of problems, and that's another thing. Americans like problems. And the bombs. Who made the bombs? We made the bombs, and there's just. Can we just do lashings or something? Stockades,
Abel, you're doing great. Abel, you're doing great. Sir,
Your Honor,
Your Honor?
Your Honor, I would like to present something into evidence of my Americanness.
Well, first, I've heard your testimony, Abel. It's very nice to hear that. I would take that into consideration as I move forward. But before you do that, can you please roll a speech and charisma check for difficulty 2 for me?
Speech, charisma, difficulty 2, and thankfully I have my formal wear on, so I can.
Man.
Yeah.
And
so
can I roll 1 to help?
Yeah, so you're allowed to assist.
I'll re-roll that 12. It becomes a 4.
I am no help to any of my friends today.
I get my 2 successes thanks to how dapper I'm dressed.
Yay!
Very nice. Yeah, he takes that in consideration. All right, now the rest of you had something to say to me before I deem my ruling on this matter, and so you're available if you have some last-minute remarks, I suppose.
Your Honor,
I want to.
Don't all speak at once. If you all speak at once, I won't be able to tell what you're saying. You hear? You see?
Go ahead.
You say?
Go ahead, Frankie.
Your Honor, I wanted to put something into evidence, and this was meta here. This was my random roll on the food table, and Frankie will pull out a piece of perfectly preserved pie.
Wow.
Your Honor, I've understood that this is the most American food that had ever existed.
Holy shit! May I have a taste of that?
Well, Your Honor, this is evidence. I don't think we're going to be able to eat it until the trial is over, but I would be glad to share it with my American friend, Your Honor, after this.
No, I don't think you understand. You've been found guilty of the crime. I am just taking things into consideration for what I deem my judgments to be. So either I get this perfectly preserved piece of pie and I get to try it right now, or I'm not going to take that into any kind of consideration because I don't necessarily believe you because you're criminals found guilty of a crime.
Your Honor, Mr. Hangman, before we settle the pie debate, I have to ask, we've been found guilty. Is this a federal case or a state?
Oh, this is I mean, even above federal, this is from God above. I mean, this is,
Oh, this is like
the gods of America. Yes, I'm divinely charged with foreseeing justice upon this land from up on high. It is my divine right as a justicar of the famous American government to discern whether or not these people are ready to become or are American enough.
All right. Well, okay. So if we're found guilty, this is a trial from God above. What's the appeal process? Part of a major cornerstone of the American legal system is that there's an appeal process. So, I feel like if we've been found guilty, maybe we should get an appeal and get a new trial.
You'll have time to appeal if you don't die today. Yes, that will be the case. If you don't die, you'll be able to be granted appeal, but you will need to find one of the other justicars, or as you lowly folk call us, judges, to discern your case again. We can charge you again and see what sticks.
I mean, honestly, guys, that's the most American part of this whole process so far. They're going to try to get us any way they can.
There is the whole there's the whole double jeopardy thing. Also, Amendment 16, Section 1, Clause 1 of the U.S. Constitution, which is a very American establishment. All persons born in the United States are U.S. citizens, and honestly, especially if you count how far we've traveled, all of us are from the continental United States, because there's no way we could be from anywhere else. And honestly, our accents pretty much 100%. No, we're U.S. citizens. We deserve protections under the American citizenship requisitions of the Constitution. Unless, of course, you don't think the Constitution was instituted by God himself above.
No, it was not. The old world died for a reason, and we are here as greater Americans to solve the issues with the previous government. So we don't know or need the Constitution because it was written back in ye olden times where everyone's running around with musket pistols. And you see how that worked out for us. You see what happened to us. You see what future became us. So we're here to restore not the laws of America, but the soul of America.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that makes perfect sense. And we would love to help you with that in any way possible. But we can't help you with it if we're hanged and dead.
Very
Pie
well.
Frankie,
pretty
give him the
soulful.
pie.
Very well. I have what is Frankie doing?
I said
the pie is
Frankie,
very
give him the
soulful.
pie.
I don't think it would be very American to just give up pie without tasting some yourself, but you can have it.
So do you have this pie on your person? Are you like trying to like hold this pie out?
Well, I don't know.
It's
I mean,
got that little
if
clamshell
we-
cover that you get at like Polly's Pies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in my equipment. I don't know sort
Sure,
of the
yeah.
context
You
of
can,
it.
yeah,
Sure.
you can. I mean, we can magic
Yeah.
bag it. I don't need to be like, oh, I've got
Yeah,
this pie
magic
stuck
bag
down
it.
my pocket. Here you go. You know.
Yeah.
This pie is
All right.
200 and something years old and is perfectly preserved. That is the least weird thing about this pie is where he's keeping it.
Yeah, right.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I have rendered my decision. I will now give you some instruction. Based
Wait,
upon
did he eat the pie?
No, he didn't give him the pie.
Yeah, I did.
Did you give him the pie?
Yeah, I'm just complaining that I actually don't think it would be very American to share a piece of pie without tasting some yourself, but I'll give it to the bastard.
Oh, so you're going to give it to him. Oh, well, you set it down on the floor, and the man in the chair actually releases his arm, and through the sleeve of his arm comes a rope that sinks itself around the plate and pulls the plate to his desk on high. He then takes out a tiny silver fork out of his coat pocket and dinks the fork into the pie and has a taste and says, "You, my friend, have found one of the most perfectly preserved cherry pies that I've ever had in my entire life. And for this, I thank you. And on that note, I have rendered my judgment for you all, and I will now give you some directions. Affixed to your necks is a metal necklace. This is what we call a bomb collar. Pretty much, the only people that can detonate the bomb collars are representatives of the American government, the judges, anybody else that you come into contact with from the American government will be able to detonate those at will. What happens when they detonate? Well, your head explodes. Until your probationary time has ended and you've proven yourself to be a true American, then you will be able to ascend and be with the full American populace in the heavens above, and we will all be a happy family. But until then, you'll need to be able to prove yourself to much representatives of the American government that you're useful, that you're what's the word to say, that you'll be able to acquiesce with anything that they ask of you. Now, there's the additional ropes around your neck. Based on my decisions, I'm going to loosen some of those ropes so that for the next bit it's not going to be too bad. But here's the great thing about today and what I've laid out for you is I'm going to give you all a good chance, a second chance to prove yourself. But first, you'll need to escape. And with that, he pushes a button. The floor beneath you falls out. What happens as you're falling, almost like like Coyote and Roadrunner, the ropes around Frankie, Punchy, and Hazel's neck snap, but Abel, your rope does not snap just yet. I'm going to need everyone to make I would say a athletics plus perception check for difficulty 2.
This will be good.
I got a 1.
Wait.
Frankie got a 2.
I did.
Abel
Sorry,
got a
one-
2. Yay.
All right, Frankie and Abel.
That should
you all
actually
enter
be disregard. Never mind.
Yeah.
Frankie and Abel, you all enter a slow-mo, kind of like Fallout 4 VATS. Abel is going to die. He is going to be hanged. Abel, you realize this too, and you have moments to react to this. What are you all going to try to do to pretty much stop that? You all are going to fall no matter what. but it's will Abel die or saved.
Cool.
Oh, okay. So I can do something since I'm in this like bullet time
yes.
thing.
Yeah. Let me
Okay.
Bullet
let me
time.
try my thing first here, just see it works. Okay. First of all, I would like to spend a luck point to create something in this scene. Okay.
Okay, tell me what it is.
I think they probably patted me down to get all of my. Did they pat us down to get all of our objects, or did they even bother?
No, you have every single object on your person that you came
Okay.
with.
So I'm going to spend that luck point to say that my bladed knuckles that I usually keep on my my left hand are readily available, and I'm going to try to use that to saw at the noose. So like the initial thought is like if you're hanging by your neck and your hands aren't restrained, you're going to try to create. So I feel like if I've got something there, maybe I can try to saw off at it.
All right, cool. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to act like this is a close combat situation. So if you get one success, go ahead and roll that weapon. And then if you hit, roll the damage and see if you get an effect. If you get an effect, I'll allow it.
Okay. So I do get a hit. Come on, baby. Cool. I'm going to spend a luck point to reroll 3 of those.
Great. You just did 4 physical damage. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
We'll
I guess
count.
count the first
We'll
3.
count it.
I don't know
Yep,
why.
you got an effect on there.
Okay.
Anywho, your rope breaks. Frankie, you see that his rope breaks. You're in bullet time. What are you going to do with this time now that Abel's not going to die?
Are like what are we falling into? What's below us?
So you can see below you that it is a giant pit, and there is a fan actually at the bottom of it. So you all are flying down this giant tube towards this fan. That's what you can see.
A spinning fan, I'm guessing.
Yes,
A big
yes.
bladed spinning fan.
Yes, pretty much.
Oh shit. Sound kind of fucked, don't we?
You're in bullet time, so you can do some John Wick, and if you want to, you know, if you felt
Right.
like it, you could do some MacGyvering.
This is more like a Link in the Tears of the Kingdom.
Huh?
Yeah, floating as soon as you draw your bow, like the stamina starts to drain. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to do other than to draw the 10mm pistol and try and shoot the rotor of the fan so it stops spinning.